Well, here's another point, Casper. My belly cream, I find people that they can't eliminate. They don't have a bowel movement for maybe 2 days. And I go, because they're caked, their intestines are caked. So when I open lymphatically, I can get them to have a bowel movement 3 or 4 times a day. And that's how a lot of elderly died, because that colon is picking up all those bacteria, and it just starts like a fire, just works up the organs and it kills them.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much going on right now. And even with your latest work, maybe you could go into that and we'll try and wind down here is, you're looking at topical solutions that relate to the prostate and cardiovascular health. Is that correct?
The prostate is when we discovered that when people use the detox deodorant around the pelvic floor, they came back and told me their PSA counts came down. So I told them to go a little further with it, but I won't get into how further they went. So that, and when I went around and I emailed the prostate research group, and I asked them if anybody's interested in studying aluminum in prostate. And they said, not only they got back to me a couple months with an email, said nobody interested in working with aluminum prostate. They don't even have that on the screen. They've looked at all the other metals, but aluminum. Now, the prostate has its own lymphatics system. And on rats and mice, they know what's in the lymphatics, and it's aluminum. And why we don't think about draining the aluminum or attracting the aluminum via the rectum, I don't know. So that's one. The other area is that we do for the heart, cardiovascular. I've asked a lot of cardiologists, you do calcium scoring? They go, yeah, calcium scoring for the heart. And I said, in with like plants, but in like humans, when you have excess aluminum and heavy metals, it depletes intracellular calcium, becomes extracellular. And that, with binding with the metals, can cause a lot of heart issues on the valve and everything. So when you have all heavy metals, you get the bugs, and so you can effectively bother the heart. The way I look at it, if I have people not use antiperspirants or crystal deodorant, and I actually have them use the healing salts on the axilla, and actually have it. Fessler was experimenting with that for reducing the inflammation or the the heart was palpating. So sometimes people have these palpating, and he can't test them because the heart's palpating. They got arrhythmias all the time. So I'm working on calming down the arrhythmias and drawing the aluminum salts around the cardiovascular area out through the armpit, like I've done with the breast. So it's unique. And, like I can only stick my finger in so many pots as I work, but I've got a whole library of studies before they shut down the internet. And now you have to pay like $39.95 for one study. Well, I might see a study and I see 80 references, and I want to look through how they did the building blocks on this. And if something went wrong, they may not realize where they went wrong in the clinical. And so I work on a lot of studying clinicals. So it's a kind of an interest of mine to expand into fields that I hope somebody will take on and expand later on.
Yeah, it's important work. It's important work to look at all of this, to tie it all together, to look at health as a holistic thing, and understand that so many of the issues we have may be able to be solved if we just looked at the lymphatic drainage, looked at removing things like heavy metals.